Hi folks, and what are we going to be making today? Yes, we're going to be making an organic white sourdough loaf. And included in the flour, we're going to be using a little bit of rye flour to give it a little bit more of a kick. The recipe is now on screen for you. Also, you'll find the recipe in the description. So we'll start by adding in our flour. Then we're going to add in our liquid. Then we're going to give that a little mix round with the hook. That's just to get the dough started. Add in our sourdough. This is an active sourdough starter. Now we're going to put it onto our machine and knock it onto first speed for 1 minute. And this is just to get everything mixed in. Once it turns into a dough, we're going to be adding the salt in. Now halfway through, you want to really check the dough. So that's an important thing you ought to do. It's just to make sure the dough's not too slack or too tight. And because it's a sourdough, you really want it on a softer side of things more so than the harder side. Our dough is ready. So what we need to be doing is now checking if it is actually nice enough. And what we need to do is grab a bit of the dough and pull it out. And you're checking to test the window. If you've got a nice clear window, that's ready to go. If not, you need to be popping it back onto the machine for another 2 or 3 minutes. Right, we'll get this straight onto the table. Now place your dough into a bowl, and this also needs to be covered. Now this proving up will take around about 4 to 6 hours depending on your temperature. And there we go. We'll see you back in around about 4 to 5 hours. And there we go, that's our dough ready. Almost. So what we're going to be doing is taking it out and now give it a good stretch. And this helps to develop the dough as well. And do the same again in another 2 hours time. And this is obviously a different method to what I used in my previous video. This is another method you can use. Folding the dough. I'll put it back in there. And we'll leave that in there for a bit. And now we're ready. That has actually taken around about 6 hours to get where it is. Now I'm going to be scaling this off at £1, or for your younger folk, 400 grams. You should get around about 3 to 4 loaves out of it. And if you get anything over, put it into your fridge or into your freezer for the next dough. Now we gently mould this up. So we're sort of folding it over each other, gently pushing it into the table. Now you don't want to be too erratic at this one today. Once again, do the same. Now this is just one method that I use, or you can use another method than this. Just folding it over. Just gently, like that. So you're sort of rolling it up. Once again, pull it out and just fold it over. Now the idea is to do it like this, is so it creates a larger hole in the middle. For some reason, everybody goes wild over sourdough with big holes. Never know why. It's the same whether it's got small holes or big holes. And there we go. And all we're going to do is pop those into tins. Now we want to put them onto a tray. And now we're going to put them into a prover, or just leave them out into a warm place. And they're going to be there for around about 7 hours, give or take. It can take longer. I mean, I'm saying 7 hours. It's not unusual for me to be waiting around for nearly 12 hours, depending on the temperature. Just make sure it's well covered up. You don't really need any steam or anything. It'll just come up on its own. Right, we're ready. And we're going to be baking these off in an oven temperature of around about 220 Celsius, or that's around about 420 Fahrenheit. Now, due to the fact this is a different flour to what we've used before, it is a bit more what I call a delicate one. So I'm going to pop this into the oven. Now you can throw ice cubes into the oven, or alternatively, you can use a spray. Now I'm going to be using a spray, and all you need to be doing is spraying inside the oven for about a minute. That's all. Now it's going to be baking in the oven for around about 35 minutes, give or take. It has known for the sourdough bread to take 45 minutes. It really depends on your oven. Our bread's ready. That has actually taken 35 minutes. So we'll get them out of the oven, and what we need to be doing is putting them straight onto a nice wire, and that's better for cooling. And there we go folks, it's as easy as that. And that is some scrummy sourdough bread. I can smell and taste that now. And if you like this type of content, please subscribe and please share. And don't forget to check the description, because that is where you're going to find your recipe. Laters!